Fit like, I hope you're all keeping well and welcome aboard again. Now in this video I'm on my shetty. That usually means it's our course that can't get out in the boat. I'm just in over my shetty making rigs. So I've seen a couple of comments on my videos. Folks seeking to ken how I make my rigs. So I'm just going to show you how I make my beach rigs. This is a rig that was featured in the last video I made. It's Sunnyside Beach. And they've got pop-ups and beads. And there's 6 hooks on each rig. I'll just hang them over here on my fish mystery, which I haven't dismantled yet since Christmas. I'll just keep them out of my way just now. Every time I come home for a fishing trip, I run it up and swell the rigs in fresh water and hang them up to dry. Now you have to do that because even though the hooks are meant for salt water, the hooks will just corrode away in no time at all and get a lump of roost. So I was washing them in fresh water after a fishing trip and hang them up to dry. Anyway, I'll let you see how I make them. Now I was online and I was looking at his beads and I thought to myself, they look a bit like pearls that you get out of the mussels and oysters. I think a fluke would be attracted by things. So I thought I'll get a pocket and make up a rig with them and see how I get on. So anyway, I ordered them. They came. Now they were in among fish and stuff, so I just assumed they would have holes in them for fishing, but they haven't got holes in them, as you can see. So I've prepared a few earlier and drilled a hole right through them, so the line will go through them now. And I usually buy all different fishing beads and they come with holes in them, but I think this was more an ornamental thing. I think it's for putting on, I don't know, a floor pot or something. But I thought myself, I think it'd be good for making a rig with. I'm going to go anyway. You don't care until you try. This rig I'm going to make with size 4 hooks. As you can see here, small hook. I ordered a new batch of hooks, size 4. I've also got size 4 WSB tackle hooks. The WSB size 4 is that size. This new batch of hooks I've got is that size. So there's a fair difference between them. Like last rigs that I was fishing with was the WSB hooks, size 4, which I think is a really good size for catching flukes, flatties. Now this new size 4, it's a different brand, a lot smaller. I'm going to make up a couple of rigs with that ends, which I think they'll still be good fishing hooks and all. I've also got circle hooks, and I sometimes use them and all, because I mean a lot of folk uses the circle hook for a reason. Usually if you hook a fish, it just usually tucks it in a lip, and which is easy to get out. But if a flatfish swallows that hook, it's really hard to get out, in fact nearly impossible sometimes. So I prefer to use the long shank Aberdeen hooks. If they swallow that hook, it's easy enough to turn them with a disgorger and pull them out again and let your fish away. So I prefer the Aberdeen hooks. Anyway, the first thing I did to my hook, that's the way you get the hook. The very first thing I do is take a pliers, you see us on the camera, I grab the hook at that point, you see the point sticking up a bit, and then I actually cover the point. I bend it. Now you've got to be careful. Just take your time bending it, ease it over. Oh, that's my dog barking, Floss. Ease it over, because you can't snap him doing this. Now, you'll find if it's colder weather and you're doing this, then it'll snap easier. But if it's warmer weather, if this is warmer, it bends better instead of snapping, okay? So anyway, I just go like this, and you'll see it bending over, and you take it past a wee bit, hold it here, and then let it back, and I've got a bend on the hook here, you see that? It's not in line with the shank now, it's offset a bit. I think they catch fish better like that. I think that anyway. You don't need to do that if you're making rigs, but that's for the idea. I'm making a 6 hook rig, so I'll just finish doing this either 5 hooks. See, once again, the offset on the hook. What I do is I make a snoods first. That's the line it's actually attached to the hook and attaches it to the main rig body. So on this rig I'm going to make a snoods 20 pound. Now what you'll find is the thicker you make a snood, it doesn't tangle so bad as thinner snoods. Now thinner snoods is sometimes fish better, but they're awful bad for tangling in the motion. When you're fishing the beaches or the undercurrents in the swell, moving all the snoods about, and they tend to tangle. I'm not tying any knots on the snoods, I'm using crimps. Now crimps are just small tubes of metal. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wee rubber stop on this line. And you actually buy them like this. Just wee rubbers. Interruptions. There's a lad out there I know looking for bait. So, but I actually haven't got any now because I run out of mackerel. I usually stock up my chest freezer during the summertime. We run out of mackerel. And I actually had to buy for the supermarket, would you believe. The wife was in, and I says to her, if you see only hale mackerel, grab half a dozen to me. Oh man, 18 squid. Oof, 18 squid it was. I'm glad I was using it for bait because you wouldn't have eaten it. It wasn't good enough quality to eat. But anyway, I got some mackerel the week after for one of my pals. He works in a big fishing boat. I'm hoping that'll tide my oar till the mackerel comes on again. In fact, we actually got one mackerel in a boat. It's the first mackerel this year, and it's just the beginning of March, okay? So hopefully they'll come on in there long and I'll get stocked up again. Anyway, I can't even mind for a ways. I think I was speaking about this wee rubber stops. I didn't got my glasses while I was yapping to that lad. I thought it was a fine chance to nip in and get my glasses. This wee rubber stops, you buy them like that, and they're on this thin wires. Now I'll let you see what you do with them. So that's the first thing it's going onto my snood. So hopefully you'll see it in the camera. Put your line through the loop here. Fold it over. Now in this instance I'm putting this reading on. Colour doesn't matter. And then you just pull it pull it on like that, over top your line, and you've now got it on a line, see? Now you can move it about like that, and it's a stopper, you see. It'll stop on anything moving up past that, sliding up past. Snip that bit off. After the stopper, next thing is on is my bead. Now you can put a pop-up float, just whatever you want. You can put on 2 or 3 small beads, just like this other rig. You see the beads on here and pop-up floats. You can buy this kind of beads online, just whatever you want yourself. But today, this is for I'm doing. Floss! The dog can feel again somebody walking down past. So I've got my pearl on. I like to put 1 single reed bead close to the hook. Not sure if it's reed or orange, but the idea of that is, I think the fish maybe thinks there's a bit of bleed or something, and it gets him excited. Hopefully take a hold your hook. Just another attractor. Now we put the wee crimp on. So it's 10mm long, and it's 1.2mm be the whole diameter. This 20-pound monofilament is taken through and come back and through again. I'll just let you see in 2 minutes. So that's a crimp on. Then I'll take our hook. In this case it's a size 4, and I've offset the hook, as you can see. Put the monofilament through the hook. Now I'm sorry about my fingers, I've great big fat fingers, so I'm hoping you see this on the camera. The gut is to go back through the crimp. You see the tail sticking out the outside, and then pull it till it gets like that amount. I would say that's the idea anyway. And there's still a wee tag, like a wee tail. And then if you've got a fancy crimp pliers, you can crimp it with that, but I just use this fishing pliers. Get onto one side of it, get a good squash. On the other side of it, and get a squash. You don't need to overdo it with squashing it together. Now what's your hook? Now the beauty of it is, if you tie a knot, it kind of holds your hook pretty tight, unless you've got a fancy knot that doesn't actually do it. But this crimps make things fine and neat, and you see how your hook is flopping about all the place like that. It's really good for catching it. It makes it more catchy. Put your crimp on, and small reed bead here, and the big pearl, and of course I've got my stopper, look. Now I'm going to slide that down just about that distance. So as things go and move about a bitty, you can adjust it if you're sliding a worm right up over your hook, or in my case I just usually use small strippies of mackerel or wee blocks of mackerel in squid. So, but I like to put a stopper, or if it's a pop-up float, a lot of the pop-up floats are stoppers anyway, so you don't need this wee rubber bead. There's not much different things you can put on. But I like to put a stopper if it's a stopper I've got about that distance, for the hook. So this moves a bit again. So that's that side. I'm making this snood 12 inches for the hook there. Then snip it to that. So it will be a wee bit shorter than the 12 inches. Once I bend that door with a crimp, you don't need to be over fussy. You can make your snoods 6 inches, 10 inches, 8, just whatever you want. Once again, we're sliding a crimp onto the line at this end. I bought this little wee crimp swivel, and it's got a wee swivel on it, and it's just a crimp the same as that in. But what we're doing, we're putting the snood through the swivel end, and same again, wee tail sticking out of the crimp. Pull it so there's about that amount, and get a squash at one end and a squash near the other end, but nae right at the end, because you've a chance of the metal digging into the monofilament. That's going through the swivel, so you're left with this crimp like that, which will slide onto the main rig body. So that's your snood all made up. Hang a ready-made snood up here just now. That's half a dozen snoods all made up. You can see up here we are this different sized barrel things and the wee reed bead. First in through, look. Right, now that that's threaded through, I'm going to tie on a swivel. This is going to be the bottom end of it. A swivel with a wee clip. And that'll be for a weight goes on. So, tie it on here. You can just put a knot of your choice on. Now mine weight the knot. And pull it tight. Snap off the extra bitty, and I always leave a wee dog, just enough so that if a knot thickens up on him here, the dog doesn't get right through a knot and just open it out again. So what I do next is slide the crimp swivel bend toward the bottom end of the rig body. I just stop round about there, just gain it enough to clear the bottom swivel, maybe about an inch, maybe inch and a half, a clearance. So once it's about there, I squash with the pliers again and bathe the ends out, and that when I move. Now you didn't need to overdo it with squashing the crimp in, or you will damage your main rig body. That's a crimp held in place, and you can see the snood can furl round about like a helicopter. Yeah. And it's fine and neat, that things. I've made rigs before with a swivel in the middle, 2 beads, a crimp at each end, but as crimp swivels, these are what we are at. They're fine and neat, You have just one thing to put on. So I really like that things. In this case, this is really small. And even though it's a small swivel, I think even this size would be probably about 45 pound bracken strain, which is more than enough for this type of fishing. Now you do the same again. Slide the crimp swivel being a rig body till it's about an inch off of the end before it, and then squash the crimp in again, both sides. That's you got two on, and just continue it being till you've got them all crimped on, and then I'll let you see fit the D at the end. That's the 6 hooks all crimped onto the main rig body. What you do now is put a single swivel through this end. This is the top end of the rig body. Now you can actually put this really close to your top snood. It keeps your rig a wee bit shorter. This is a knot that I'm using. Now I'm not sure if you call this knot. There's not much different knots, but this is a really simple knot, and I've used this knot for years and never had no bother with it. It's never slipped or nothing. And what it is you put it through your swivel, and then you take 1, 2, 3 loops or hoops, whatever you want to call them, round about the rig body, and then you can back up through. So it was just 3 loops, and then back up through, pull it a wee bit tight, but not too tight, so you can weight it first. And then tighten the knot. And that's that knot. Not sure if you caught. Snip off the tag again. Never had no bother with knot in all the years I've been using it. And I use that out in the boat and all with the thicker rigs, heavier rigs for cod and that, okay? And never had no bother with. That's a rig all made up. And I put different size beads on, like a bigger bead, a medium and a small, then a big, medium and small again. Now what I do with this rigs is just wind it up like this, round about my hand, so it's like that, and then I've got this wee box with a sealing strip on it. Then I need a sealing strip on, like, but I just have a heap of them because I was making rigs and selling them online through our online shop. So I have a heap of that bags lying about. And then I squash the air out of them. That's it. A rig ready for the beach. Now, a lot of folk uses small foam rings for putting their rigs onto. They're half a good and they're fine and light for putting in your tackle box. But I find I prefer this wee pockets. And the reason for that is, for me, I can get heaps of this pockets side by side and all stuffed into one wee pouch, zipped onto the side of my tackle box. But the foam ring things, I think they're a bit bulky for me because I've loads of stuff that I put in my tackle box, flask of tea and reels and stuff like that again. So I haven't got a lot of room. So as this for me, and I can get heaps of them all squashed together and stuffed into one of the pockets under the tackle box, the side of the tackle box. So anyway, I hope it helps you out. If you're seeking to make rigs yourself for the beach, same as that again. It's up to yourself. I mean, you can. There's lots of ways of making rigs and doing your own styles. I mean, you can adapt that any style you want. 3 hooks or 4 hooks, or heaps of beads or no beads, or pop-up floats, just whatever, different size hooks. But they're fine and neat. What we crimp swivels, really pleased with them. They do have a wheel for us beach fishing rigs. Keeps everything fine and neat. It's really satisfying when you're making your own rig and your own take on it. So if you do catch a fish with, you're fair trick it with yourself, like I am, even if it's a small fluky. If you're new to fishing on the beaches and you're not seeking to get through all the rigmarole and making a rig, I suggest you buy a flapper rig. A 3-hook flapper, or even a 2-hook, but I prefer the 3-hook flappers. I like more hooks. You can buy them online, they're not expensive, and it would save you marking up your own gear, and they're enough a good rig for fishing the beaches. 3-hook flapper rig. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my wee video showing you how I make some of my rigs. Lots of rain on now, so but I haven't fought again for the shady to the house, so I'm not really going to get wet. Anyway, take care of thee, and I'll catch you after.